Okay. Hey guys, Casey, we're back. We're doing the blue cards now, and we're going to start off with one of my personal favorites, Aetherize. 4 mana instant, return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. I like this card as a sideboard card in Standard.
I can see it, because against like the
Basically,
aggressive Boros and mono red decks, yeah.
All the work that they did about their board presence, and saying no to all of it.
What do you think, Micah?
Constructed, I don't think it's going to see any play. Limited is, I think it's a fantastic card, especially, you know, people make the mistakes of playing stuff in their main phase, and
oh yeah, that's
yeah, you just blow them out, send all their stuff back to their hand.
Well, no, it's because it's all attacking creatures, not all creatures they control. So them playing it on the main phase is not as detrimental as like them playing into an instant speed wrath effect.
Well, no, if they play spells during their main phase, then they won't be able to recast the creatures that we sent back to their hand.
Right. So yeah, it's a fine card. It's not as great as first intended, but I still think it's a fine card.
I think the more important thing is that it allows you to attack them.
Yeah.
When it doesn't seem like there's favorable trades, but you kind of need to keep your dudes untapped to protect yourself. Now you're just like, you know what, I'm going to swing with the team, and we're going to try to race. And they're going to lose that race.
You basically take away...
Little do they know, their whole attack is getting negated.
And there's another little interesting aspect is if you attack with two or three guys, and they have a trick to be able to kill all of them, you can make 4 and save all your guys.
Then basically it's just a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
So it could
you
be
can also reuse come into play effects on your own guys.
Correct. And you can use it as a saving grasp on not everybody, but you may lose that damage. If one gets through, you may not want to do it, but if 2 guys are losing and the value is bad, yeah, it's
like that white creature we just went over, the one that makes a 4/4 angel. If that one gets chump blocked in combat, it's like, okay, I'll just save that if it's unfavorable trade. Take it back, you also get another 4/4 angel when you play it.
Yeah, also, it depends. You're also probably going to be attacking with the angel that turn, so you may not want to do that. Alright, Agoraphobia. Enchantment for 2. Enchant creature gets -5,
this
-0. You can pay 3 and return it to your hand.
Reminds me of
my card.
The Curse of Skipping, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, -13, -0. That one, I didn't like too much.
This one I love it because you can buy it back. It's like the Cage of Hands from Kamigawa. The one you can't attack or can't block, and you can turn it to your hand. I like it a lot.
I like this card. And it makes this one better. It costs 2, and then just pay 3 during either player's turn. They play like big fatty that you don't want to do anything about. Or turn this one and put it on him.
This might not be as relevant, but it also helps with the evolve mechanic. You can play it on your own guy, and they still have that big toughness. And also it will trigger on all of the evolve mechanics because all the powers can be bigger.
Yep, that's true. That's true. Nice little trick. Speaking of evolve, we got a couple coming up. One clinging enemies, or anemones, or how you pronounce it. Sorry. One
good sideboard card.
Defender. In the right deck, it can also be a main deck.
It's kind of like that card from
Because remember,
like Gamozas. That's what it makes me think of when I see this card.
Let's see, if it grows into a 2/4 or potentially a 3/5, you got a 3/5 butt that keeps the ground clogged. And then you have these other evolved mechanics that when they come to play, you get a benefit for whoever has the biggest power, biggest toughness, whatever it is.
The only problem I have with this card is
potentially better.
The picture makes me think it has reach. I'm just like
That's funny.
Yeah, the reason I don't like it is because I don't really like generic defenders that are on the ground unless, you know, from the sideboard, you know, clogging up against fatties on the ground.
I agree.
You go against like the Flyers deck, all Flyers or something like that.
You draw it and you're just sad. I can't do anything with it.
I agree. Yeah. I do. Okay, I agree there. But there's just some decks you have to have that defender where if you need a 23rd card, he could be a 23rd card.
Cloudfin Raptor.
But the next guy, the 0, he is amazing.
This is like my favorite blue card. That's a creature. That's like one of my favorites.
0-1 Flying Evolve. It's gonna.
I played
it's gonna
Power and
get big,
Invocation. It triggers
and
twice. I have a two 2/2s and a 2/3. Rar, rar. That's like kitchen table. Like I'm playing this card. It even works good. Also, Talrand makes this card good.
Funny thing is, even not even kitchen table, there is potential for this card to be played in standard. Just the fact that you can play him turn 1 in a deck that's not supposed to be aggressive, you can turn it into an aggressive Flyers deck. Turn 1 him, turn 2 dude, attack for 1, turn 3 dude, attack for 2, turn...
That blue-white aggressive deck that was kind of around for a little bit? Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about.
2 dudes on turn 2, like 2/1, power of 2. And
the funny thing is you can go turn 1 him, turn 2 another copy of him, grow the original copy, play another guy, grow him the original copy, attack for 2 or... Why? If it has power, toughness greater. Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to read the cards better.
Creature's greater power.
No, it won't grow because it doesn't have higher toughness or power. It has the same
power and power or toughness. It doesn't work for power or toughness. It doesn't.
Damn,
yes.
He's not that broken.
No,
if he was that broken, that would have been amazing.
Okay.
Okay.
But
yeah, I kind of misread that one.
But not nearly as good as you thought. Sorry. Diluvian Primordial.
Yeah. Okay, this avatar is interesting.
This one I don't believe. Well, actually, you know, it's a 5/5 flyer, which is kind of relevant in limited.
This is basically.
But
yeah,
I don't think this is a good limited card.
You're playing it on turn 7. Usually, people play the sorcery or instant on turn 7. You're playing it for free.
True, but on turn 7, it's kind of shaky if you're going to be alive.
Yeah, but it's still 5/5 flyer.
In 13. I actually played.
Yeah, I didn't care for that card, honestly.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
I played that card so much; it was so good for me because my opponents always played they always had like the best instants and sorceries. And I would take it and use it with my own.
I had 2 copies in a deck one time to try because I thought the card was nuts, and it did absolutely nothing for me. I'm like, this card is so bad. I took it out.
I'm gonna pass this card. I'm going to pass this card because I think it's a little too slow to this format. With Boros, Gruul, and Simic. Simic's, you know,
even Orzhov.
Trolley type, but it's very aggressive.
I think it's like the mid-range deck, kind of like Golgari was in the first one. Both kind of like mid-range, but can also have that aggressive fast start, or it can be late game like nuts.
I don't know. I still think he's fine. Depends on how fast the format is. But a 5/5 for 7 still nothing to sniff at.
Okay.
It depends. In the right deck, he's fine. This next card is definitely not playable whatsoever.
It's the
but
kind of card that you go.
EDH.
You have people who go. Can I play my the 10? Oh my god! I forgot the 10-mana enchantment that everyone talks about. Omniscience. Omniscience, sir.
Omniscience.
I call it Omniscience because it's like, oh, I'm playing all these big fatties in play. I'm calling it science experiment.
Enter the instant. Draw a card, give a number of cards in your library. Then put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn.
Alright. I don't even care about that card. I don't even care.
No.
Real
I'll
Oculus.
give you like 5 seconds of my piece on this card. If you see the card in your opening packet at the pre-release, you'll cry because you have a wasted mythic. You'll draw. You'll have this card. You're like, I got a mythic. It's blue. It's costs 12, and it's the worst card in the set. God damn it.
Yeah. Moving on.
Frilled Oculus.
1/3 for 2. 1 in a green.
I didn't know they reprinted
Dark Thicket Wolf. 2 until end of turn.
It's Dark Thicket Wolf.
It's good.
Really good.
It's really good.
Everyone remembers
really
how
good.
Thicket Wolf was.
Good limited card.
It's the same thing. Just bigger toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger toughness and 1 less to activate that ability.
That's right. It costs 3. Yeah, right. It's even better.
What was it?
Never mind.
Right.
Ta-da! Alright, this is...
Gridlock. I like this card.
I don't.
I like this card because you in turn tap all their dudes and just go.
I like this. I like to have this card when my opponent plays Gideon and goes to animate and then just tap his Gideon.
No, honestly, it's not amazing, but it's a fine card because it allows you to manipulate their side of the board on what you want them to attack or block with.
It buys you a turn, or it can give you that extra swing, or like you do it on their upkeep. Like after they untap, do it on their upkeep, they can't attack with it. You also get a free attack.
It's a potential time walking your opponent on their stuff.
A little more expensive and at instant speed.
Yeah. Don't compare it to sleep because that's the reason I don't like it. Sleep is 10 times better. Remember, sleep gives 2 turns with it.
Yeah.
It costs 4 mana for everything. This is going to cost a lot of mana. It's only going to give you 1 turn of freedom.
We've had to deal with.
It's okay. It's not. It's not.
But this
it's not sleep though.
Sleep for a while.
Yeah, the thing is though, this allows you to manipulate which ones you want them to attack or block with. So if they have like a couple of guys that are like just chump blockers, tap those guys, and they have to attack with their or block with their relevant dudes. If you're on the crackback to swing for lethal.
If you're on the crackback for swing for lethal, why don't you just tap all the dudes and swing for lethal?
Because you may not be able to tap all of them. So if you can't pay for all of it and tap them all down, you only tap the ones you need to get rid of.
I think for the set, like this card is basically the detain mechanic and a good summarization. You just can't really do anything.
Actually, speaking of detain, the next card actually kind of is detain.
No,
Hands of Binding.
This is
now this is a good tap down creature.
This is the
premier removal spell for blue. Yeah. Just the Cypher ability on a creature. See, I'm still on the fence of the Cypher because once again, the removal aspect of killing the creature and stuff, or the creature never getting hit.
Hey, you still get
your effect first.
I like this one the most because it lets you push in more damage and lets you attack more.
Oh, I agree.
No.
On this card, but I'm talking about all the other cards with Cypher.
This is like maybe top 3 of the Cypher spells. This is like top 3.
It's probably one of the best. I think I'd put 1 or 2 even, but just because the ability to tap their guy, immobilize it for a turn, get in, the next turn, get in again, triggered ability, keep the same creature tapped again. So if they can't do anything about your creature, you keep that one creature tapped every time. So that mechanic itself, I think, makes it top 1 or top 2 just to keep that permanent removal spell.
I have a turn 1 creature in play.
It's good with flyers.
Yeah,
I mean, flyers, unblockables, obviously. You know, you just stick it on a flyer, tap down their flyer, and they're stuck.
Get in, yeah. Let's see, Incursion Specialist costs 2, it's a 1/3 again. When you cast a second spell each turn, it gets +2/+0 and is unblockable.
It's a build around for Cypher.
Goes pretty good with Cypher.
But for limited, better in sealed because you have more options with the cards.
What's making me kind of depressed about this set is there's so many guys with big butts. I'm just wondering how much ground clogging it's going to be. That's what's make this guy make it.
Right now, there's going to be a lot of ground clogging.
That's
yeah, but what's going to be really good about this specialist is that you can cast a second spell at instant speed, giving him a pump as well as doing whatever effect you're doing, and now his little big booty, which they thought they could just bounce off of, well, he's just going to murk him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, we have another. I didn't even realize we have another unblockable. A 3/2 for 4 when there's battlefield. Return a creature. Oh my god, that card's amazing.
ETB triggers. Also, it's a 3/2 unblockable. It's better than Illusionary Warrior or Illusionary Phantom or whatever it was. The 2/2 unblockable.
Just the ability to bring back. Or, like you said, something with the value.
They have an enchantment on it, like arrest or detain or something else. Like, nope, get that enchantment off.
Here's something more important. You can bounce back your creatures that will trigger some more evolves.
Right.
I
like it. Last thought.
I like this
card. 4 draw card Cypher.
If If you have something to it.
It depends on if you have the creature base to actually be able to use that cipher. Because drawing a card for 4 is not good.
Like aggro decks that have a lot of features in it, because then you don't need to use a lot of cards to keep up with the card draw that your opponent's going to have. But this will actually replenish your cards in your hand no matter what.
I'm honestly not a big fan of this card. I mean, it's okay. If you the only way I'll play it is if I have like maybe 16 or 17 creatures in the deck, and I'll have a way to at least put it on a creature and maybe get value out of it. But you're probably only going to draw maybe 1, maybe 2 cards at the most with this card. And cards that cost 4 anyway to draw 2 cards didn't see as much play. I'm not a big fan of it.
Here's what I'm thinking. Okay, you got two different types of creatures you're going to put this thing on. There are 2 types of decks. You're going to have first strike or flying, to where or unblockable evasion of some sort. The first strike makes it to where their blocks are not going to be as good, so they have to make that risky decision if they're going to chump or if they're going to try to go for it and get blown out by a pump spell. So you're going to get more value out of it that way from them actually deciding to block. If they don't block, then you still get value. You get to hit them and you get to draw a card. And it's going to be good with evasion guidance because you guarantee getting that draw card every turn. It's going to be really good. But you have to have the for this kind of card. This isn't a card you just run in. Oh, I've got 16 creatures. I'm just going to run it.
One of the things I like about
I don't like that.
The cipher mechanic is the fact that it messes with your opponent, and it's like it gives them the false signal of what you think is the most valuable creature on their field. And so they might. So if, like, I play the cipher spell to target this creature, that's not my best creature on the play, but it's also it's something. So it actually makes them use removal that was meant for their bigger creature on something that has better value.
Only reason I'm not sold on Cypher is they overcost the cards that have Cypher on them, so maybe to the point where they may not be as relevant as they intended them to be.
I don't want to be able to play a 1-mana spell that does something that's playable, and then do it every turn.
Yeah, but drawing 1 card after turn 5, just one card.
It's actually 2.
Well, no,
because when you cast this, you're going to have it. It's going to be set up to where you're going to get that cipher, the first trigger. If you're not on a turn that you can get that first trigger, then you're not going to cast it that turn.
Yeah, but then what if you don't have a creature in play and you draw this card, and now you're like, oh, I'm going to just draw 1 card for 4.
Yeah, that's pretty terrible.
So, I mean, that's the reason I just don't like this card. I don't like how I have to have a creature-heavy deck in order to make sure I have something in play to get potential value for the card. If I'm playing 10 creatures, you're probably not going to have a creature every time. There's situations where you're top decking, needing to get a card, and you draw this, and you're like, oh, wow, I got to pay 4 to find another card, the cantrip. I don't cycle for 4. It's not that great.
Well, that's why, you know, depending on your deck, you're going to have the deck is going to have to be set up in such a way that you can abuse cards like that. If you're not, then you can't run it. In drafting, that's going to make a lot of people are going to make those mistakes where they're not going to draft enough creatures or something like that.
And like, why is this card not doing very well for me? It's such an awesome ability. And then it's like, how many creatures do you have in your deck? 12?
Yeah.
That's why. Put more creatures in your deck, or just don't play the card.
Alright. Look at this guy.
When he deals damage.
5, when he attacks.
Combat damage.
Or when he does combat.
Yeah.
He returns.
And I like how they actually put it in parentheses. Return it only if it survive combat. I like how they actually put that in there.
Yeah.
It's really good because it triggers your evolves. It's a big old fat body that pretty much is going to trigger every evolve for several turns.
The phantasmal creatures, because it's basically the phantasmal. Yes. The phantasmal creatures all have
at least it survive.
Good body for the mana cost, but this one you actually get to reuse it, and this also triggers every single evolve mechanic because none of your creatures could be bigger than 5/5 if you're playing blue-green.
Yeah, you said all phantasmal creatures except for phantasmal.
Because that was
that card was so good.
Equal Titan.
I called that card so bad.
Alright, moving on. Metropolis Sprite.
Alright. Metropolis Sprite.
She's good.
For 2.
It lets you trade up.
You can switch her power and toughness for 1 blue.
Basically, It's a weaker version, in my opinion, of the 1/4, the Frostburn Weird. I think yeah, it's a
yeah, Frostburn Weird by far way better.
Close version of it. Yeah.
It's a fine card. It fits the curve, and
it works pretty good with pump spells. She's a flyer. She's got the evasion. So you giant growth her, and suddenly she's smacking for like 7.
A couple cards that move 1/1 counters over. That one gives her plus power, and also the option to give her even more power.
Well, this next guy is kind of... He's interesting. A 2/5 for 5 when he dies, mill 5.
Bell Tower Sphinx.
Well, of course. Who wouldn't? Bell Tower Sphinx was dumb.
But this... Okay, yeah, it's ridiculous. But for what it's built and for what this set is worth, this can be a scary card.
You pay 1, sack it off to mill 3. Like, pay 1 black, sack mill 8.
This is one of those times that I actually do not like him having 5 toughness, though.
Yeah, because you want him to...
If he was like a 2/3 for 4, I think that
when a creature dies, you usually expect him to have like a fragile toughness and a lot of power.
But I think the reason why they made sure he had a 5 toughness, though, is because when he needs to be hard to die. Because if a creature could die very easy to mill 12.5% of your opponent's deck, that seems pretty good if it's undercosted. Yeah, but I'm just saying, in general, the 40-card deck, milling 5 is 12.5% of the deck. That's just ridiculous having... If you can kill him easy. A 2/3, that's easy to kill. A 2/5, not so much. Yeah, this guy's gonna sit there and just sit there and sit there.
You hold the guy that sacks creatures until for milling. You hold him in your hand, and then it's like, oh look, you have like 10 cards left in your deck. Play him, sack it up, and you're just dead.
But the funny thing is, you can combo with the next card.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Destroy creature, can't be regenerated. You mill 5 and get 3/3 live. This card's fine.
My favorite part about this card
is not going to see standard play.
That's my favorite part about this card.
Right, which But the thing is, though, there's only a few cards in standard that are going to be where it can't be regenerated, or that can regenerate that are relevant. But I still wouldn't play for those. I mean, Wolfir Avenger.
I haven't seen it in such a long time.
It's because they're trying to phase it out. They're trying to make regeneration as good as it was back when it first came out.
It's like you remember.
We had Pongify, and it was only good and limited, and it still wasn't even that great and limited. Giving your opponent a 3/3, unless their creature's like a 4/4 or higher, or even a 3/3 that has a mechanic that you don't want to deal with. No, that was in Planar Chaos.
Right?
Yeah, that block.
When I say like
I don't care for it.
Just imagine that block. Don't go to.
I'm actually. If I draft this card, I'm gonna draft it to possibly destroy my own creature to get a benefit.
Actually, yes. Okay, this card has a lot of little tricks that it can do. In addition to toning down their big fatty, that might be giving you some problem. Like their 5/5 Leyline Phantom that keeps coming back every turn and involving their team. Why don't you just blow it up, give them a 3/3, be done with it? Or, I don't know, you could steal their creatures and blow up their creatures and give yourself a 3/3, or you could just blow up your own creature to give yourself a 3/3, triggering some mechanics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or you can counter their removal spell by blowing up whatever they were going to remove and give yourself a 3/3. Yeah, it's got a lot of little tricks built into it.
Yeah, speaking of stealing a creature, they did bring back a game controlled creature upon controls and has haste, so you can steal it, attack with it, and give yourself a 3/3.
This reminds me of like a Lockpickers toolkit. Because it kind of fits into whatever you need it to be at the time. It basically it's a one mana, 1 blue mana, do something that's most benefit to you. It's not limited to just their creatures or your creatures. It's whatever best scenario it is. This is one of the better fit cards in the Realm Ride.
Alright. So we got
this is basically Airborne in blue. That's.
I like this in older formats.
I was going to say.
And I like it in limited as a really good mana fixer.
I like it in Legacy.
Yes.
Because it allows you to play another thing that just go, I'm playing multiple colors, I'm screwed on one color. What's the one deck that plays blue, especially small guys
Legacy,
like this?
Because it gets
fish.
If you're playing a bunch of basic lands, you don't have to play the expensive dual lands that get killed by strip mine, or what strip mine, wasteland. Yeah, wasteland. You don't have
wasteland.
Here's another thing I want to use it for: the blue-green EDH deck. You got the little tree folk guy, makes all forests and tree folk indestructible.
Yeah.
All your lands are forests, sir.
Yeah, see, I like this because it's going to give Fish and Legacy a potential to play white or black or red more proficiently, even though you already have the dual lands and stuff, but just like you said, the wasteland mechanic, getting around that, I don't see it being played really honestly in Legacy, but you never know. You see the randomness of cards being played. If you watched the Star City this weekend, you saw a painter deck that was playing cards you never.
Like the first time I watched a Legacy tournament, I was blown away by the stuff. I actually had like 4 playsets of like almost every card in the deck that I thought were never going to be used because of how underwhelming they were to me, showing my experience. And I was like, I looked at it, I was like, oh wait,
yeah. But this card will be fine and limited.
Blue,
I will like it because it's a mana fixer.
I have basically all my colors. I'm good. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Sage
Alright, so the next card, okay, now this is, what, the second mill card we've come across now?
Yeah.
And, mill is always a scary mechanic in limited just because of the size of the deck.
Also have the additional ability of mill 2 when they enter the battlefield.
And mill 2, whenever... Yes, and this is a 2/3 for 3, which is not too terribly costed. For just for a 2/3 for 3, it's a fine little dude. So this is all upside. All your dudes come into play and mill your opponent for 2.
It's with the card in Innistrad, the occultist. When a self-off occultist, when a creature died, you mill 2. Same body, same converting mana cost. Except you get benefit each time a creature comes
the Pong device we just went over?
So you can just build around it.
Is that just a green creature? Yeah, it's just a green creature, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, these in multiples are ridiculously scary.
Yes.
Yeah, these are probably, if you just get 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, mill 2. Do it again.
These are going to be like a chase,
play again.
Chase commons, I think, in drafting, where it's like, I need to get more of these, but everyone else is taking them. This is basically Doorkeeper, in my opinion.
It's going to be where it depends on how aggressive the table drafts the mirror. Because if there's 3 players drafting the mechanic, this card's not going to shine.
This is just a blue card in general.
Right, but if there's 2 drafters of the mechanic, this is scary.
Yep.
Sapphire
Well,
Drake.
the next card on this list is a very scary card. If you're playing Simic, then you're about to have some nasty times with this.
Oh my god.
Well, no, it only gives you the flyers.
I read it backwards. Sorry.
So it's a 4/4 flyer for 6. That gives each creature you control. Yeah, each creature you control that has a
good
gains flying. So your little Simic Evolve dudes are all in the air.
This is like the first pick. First off, it's a 4 mana 6 mana 4/4 flyer. That's not bad. Like that's like
4/4
about average on the cost about there. Yeah.
Flyer, but just a bonus for each creature with a 1/1 counter flying. That is dumb.
He infects the board when he enters the
That is
first
dumb.
It's one of the checks for high cost cards. Like.
So wait.
Yep.
What they're saying is you're at 8 life. I've got 9 power.
Like,
they each have a token. Turn 6, slam this, kill you.
Yep.
Dead. Dead.
Turn 6, kill you. That's. Oh my god.
Now imagine if you wrecked this card. Like if you had the Flux Mage that has Evolve on it.
Oh yes, absolutely. Now anything you have in your deck is a flyer. Yes.
Oh, that's. Alright, this next one's nothing to sniff about. Counter-target non-creature spell draw card for 4. In limited, it's a fine card.
Yes.
Anything that
it counters Aurelia's
replacement usually is pretty good, but something that can counter one of their big like sorceries that changes the game, it's like nope, you don't get to have that game-changing spell anymore.
Yeah. In standard,
you're probably not going to want to play more than one of these in a limited deck unless your opponent is really heavy on spells, non-creature spells.
And Return to Ravnica, because you only want to play like one of them because there are a lot of good targets, but they're not enough of good targets in a one deck at a time to play more than that one copy.
But this spell is only for instant though. This is for everything that's not creature.
I never played this spell in the main. This is something you could play in the main just because you can counter any type of whether it's sorcery or instant, and you get to draw that card.
Right, every deck's going to have a non-creature spell, and they possibly will have a bomb non-removal spell. I mean, bomb non-creature.
Exactly. So playing one of these in the main is
it's a fun.
Sure.
It's a cantrip.
Multiples, maybe not, because it depends on how many spells they really are running. But having maybe one or two more of these in the sideboard.
Now we're going on like the best blue card in the set for
Flux Mage. Move 1/1 counters to wherever.
Pretty good when you got that Drake that says your 1/1 counters give people flying.
Yeah.
It says, do you want to fly?
Yeah, I don't know. He's
that
just
bird
overall
says you do get to fly.
So, okay, I have a question. Since you were talking about the trigger of Evolve, that it looks at it when it resolves.
Okay.
So, you could have a creature come into play, the Evolve mechanic triggers, you move a counter to that creature, and it checks it.
So, it has to be when the trigger when it goes off, not when it resolves, that it actually gets the 1/1 counters from it. No, it's not.
It doesn't have the state-based check?
It's the if-then clause.
Not a state-based check? Turns the battle under control. If.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the if-then clause. If it has,
I see the if.
If the card says if this particular condition is met, then it gets that. That's when it is triggered, not when it resolves.
Okay.
Still a good card. Like this is like one of my favorite blue cards so far. Basically,
I'm curious about the next one. Simic Manipulator.
But
that's
still
how exactly it is. Old Man
you have to play another
thing is
to actually work. It's the worst Old Man in the Sea.
Right, and it costs 3. So.
And plus, it's eh.
Yeah.
What was the power and toughness of Old Man? 0/1. Okay. But
0/1.
This is gonna be like Beguiler of Wills or something.
I'm not gonna play it.
I think it's really good.
You like him?
Yeah, absolutely. With all the little Boros dudes that are really good, you have also the little Simic dudes that haven't evolved yet. You can start cacking them, sure.
In the right deck, he's fine. It's just a 0/1 for 3. It's just it just depends on how aggressive your deck can be. You have to make him grow fast, or he's not gonna do much. And you have to remove those counters, so you can only steal that one target. Then you have to regrow them again.
Well, he goes pretty good with the Flux Mage.
But then you're counting on getting a rare
you can kind of double up the counters that get put on him.
That's fair.
And then,
it does happen, but it's still like you.
Hey, it happens.
It happens.
There's a rare and uncommon in every pack.
Sky Games. Chain of Land has target creature gains flying.
Yeah.
You can only do it sorcery
speed. Get the words right out of my mouth.
This card sucks. Why did if they didn't put the activate only as a sorcery, this card would be great.
Yeah.
But putting that makes this card.
Can I have a land over this, please? I think
card,
you guys had a
on the
discussion over this on the website, right? Where it only works in like bank control, and you have big creatures that go with it.
Yeah, if you're talking about standard, sure.
I don't
actually, I don't like this card in standard at all, just because it requires you to have a creature in play for it to be any useful. However, in limited, where you're going to be playing a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Target 9.
Right. In standard, the reason I don't like it is because those decks that are going to play counterspellers aren't really playing that many creatures in the first place. And if they are, they're playing Snapcaster Mage, which costs 2.
Yep.
I'd rather just play Dissipate in standard anyway.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, even
no, Syncopate's dead. You can't play Syncopate.
This one I'm like...
Next card, though, I am actually very excited about.
I need to like make it better. I need to find...
Stolen Identity in a Bant deck with Thragtusk. In a Bant deck with Restoration Angel. In a Bant deck with a creature in general. Just putting a copy into play and they have to kill the other copy. I'm going to put the Cypher ability on my token. I do not care. You're targeting the token. I still have my guy.
That's why
the deck I'm playing this in is a Biovisionary.
Cypher, because the effect goes off and then you get the Cypher trigger.
Right. See, no, I'm not going to worry about this in the actual mainstream Bant deck. I'm talking about the Biovisionary,
I've actually seen,
fun F&M the deck I'm building.
Token deck already.
Discard that deck because Ali Entrazi did not realize that Infinite Reflection does not target non-token creatures. Doesn't work, so disregard that deck. That deck's been scrapped. So the deck that's gonna, I'll discuss it when Biovisionary comes up. It's it's gonna be way better than people actually gave it credit for.
Okay. Totally Lost.
Can't wait to play with it. Turn target 9/11 permanent turns on his hand for 5.
We're on Totally Lost.
I'm sorry.
You said you're totally lost? We're on
I'm totally lost.
Yes.
I love how that all
I
of
don't
us were
understand
like,
why it costs 5.
I don't understand.
Here, read the flavor text on this one. Go ahead. read the flavor text. No. You got to say that word, sir.
Flip this. This card's still fine and limited.
A little bit like
it's okay.
It's Dark Ascension. Yeah, it's not good, but it'll find its uses.
I agree. But yeah, because
with the amount of mill options you have, it's actually going to be really good.
Returning to the owner's library is what makes it relevant. If it didn't do that,
I don't have a removal spell, so I'm going to bounce it and then mill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have no permits in play. You play your one creature. I'm going to return it back to the deck and time walking.
Mm-hmm.
Void Walk. Exile target creature. Return it to the battlefield under owner's control at the beginning of your next end step.
That white creature that makes angels?
Really good.
Yes.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then give the Cypher to my
or any really good coming to play effect. You're just going to get a lot of hype.
It basically this makes
now so I mean
it basically becomes the Moon Silver Spear from Return to Abyssin Restored. Yeah, because you keep getting an angel each time I attack.
Let me ask a question. How many unblockable effects have we talked about so far? What, 2?
There's
unblockable, not blind. 3?
I guess you can consider unblockable, but it's like, eh. There's protection from creatures in white, and also the
protection from creatures.
That thief
the guy that's unblockable and bounces a dude to your hand? Yes.
Yeah.
So these are all going to be very good with these Cypher cards. Wouldn't it be nice if you had a common that was unblockable as well?
Look! I
was trying to find a...
Hey, look at that. Way of the Thief. Enchant your creature to give it +2/+2 and unblockable.
As long as you control a gate.
As long as you control a gate.
No, why would you be cheap like that?
I would never do that.
Why would he do that? He sounds so dumb. But... yeah, I like this enchantment.
This reminds me of
even though it costs 4, it still makes it unblockable. Seems fine.
M13. Yeah, if you give this.
Yeah, it's good in the right deck.